The Class N3 battle raged on. Tzaneen still makes the running, and the others hanging on. De Wit, the best of the rest. Area which was ravaged by a bushfire the day before the rally started. Undulating fast roads with a tight and tricky section, the rally was taking a heavy toll already. Just 36 cars starting the 11.3k stage. The sky remained heavily overcast, but the breeze ensured that there was no dust problem. Another puncture cost Keen 8 seconds to Habich, the two polos still at each other's throats. With his lead cut back to just 4 seconds, the pressure was back on the younger driver, still trying to claim his first championship. Damso battled on with his rear-wheel drive car. It still took some time getting used to seeing the multiple champions in a red and silver car instead of a white, green and red one. He dropped 1 second to Keen in the stage. With a third of the stage mileage already under their belts, Keen led by 4 seconds from Yanni, with Serge another 37 seconds back, dropping more time by the kilometre. Gemmel and Ulifier were serene at the head of the N4 battle, even if the N-car action looks a little busy, as Gemmel's hands move from the steering wheel to the gear lever and flies back again. In dominant form throughout the second half of the year, they built up a lead of a minute and is well set to win his coveted championship. Fernando Rueda and Martin Puerta were hanging on best of the rest. Poor Puerta was suffering from car sickness, which was not helping their cause. Ryan was pushing hard to make up for a 90-second time loss in the previous stage after choosing the wrong tyres. With a lead of over a minute over Rueda, it was going to take a miracle to stop Gemmel winning, and Ryan was now 2 minutes back from where he needed to be, and Duplessis is a further 2 minutes back. With Malherbe out of the rally after rolling in stage 3, Michael Houghton is already assured of the Class A5 championship, and he could concentrate on driving for enjoyment. Chad Conradi and Jaco Purchase were up into second in their RFS Toyota Taz, but nearly 2 minutes behind Houghton. They missed a part of the season due to a lack of funds, but scored well in the opening rally this year. Polokwane-based Andre Ehlers and Eugene Leroux were hustling their SAC Toyota Taz along at a respectable pace. A regular regional competitor, this was a chance to benchmark themselves against the best in the class. Zulu and Fourie were battling to make up time lost in the mist and had the Chico back up to speed, but were battling to find their rhythm. The war in A7 was boiling away merrily, Lawrence snatching the lead from Fecken with a great drive. He added another 6 seconds, but JP conversely dropped yet more time. Wilken had a hard landing that broke a bolt in the crossmember and bent the steering, and they dropped 25 seconds to the pedestrian Damso. Tzaneen was the first N3 car to wilt. 16Ks featured some terrifyingly fast sections with ever-present trees and stumps ready to rip a wheel off a car in a second. So far, the score, stumps 7, cars 0, and it's just not cricket. Habich was back in his stride and stormed to the stage win 13 seconds faster than Keen. With that time came the rally lead again, the third time it's changed hands. Damso was still struggling 5 seconds off Keen's time, still in third. With a 9-second cushion over Keen, Habich was smiling again, but Damso had dropped 46 seconds off the leader's pace. Back to service and time to check all the nuts and bolts in just 20 minutes.
We've had our fair share of trouble today, so we had to take some time somewhere. Running first on the road, we seem to be sweeping and hitting all the big rocks. I've had 2 punctures, I had to change them. And we found some locals in the road collecting wood with their bakkie. So we have had a few mishaps today. We had a clean stage in stage 3, made up some time, but had a puncture after that again. So we're close, within fighting distance.
Indeed, within fighting distance, but how was the man in front after his drive earlier in the day, and how did that go?
We didn't have a good stage earlier this morning. We had a lot of mist, and that was a very muddy narrow track. So, yeah, we lost more time than we should have, but we've made it up and everything's going well. I think we're going to try and be first on the road tomorrow because on 4 stages now we've had big rocks that the car in front has pulled into the stage, and they were very big. They're like soccer ball and rugby ball sized rocks, and it's damaged some car, damaged a couple of suspension bits. So I think maybe first on the road is actually the better deal, so that's what we'll go for tomorrow.
De Wit beat Williams by 14 seconds to extend his N3 lead, having his best run since mid-year. Down in Class N2, Kostas Komantarakis and Gerard Snyman had a reasonable 36 seconds in hand over Marinus du Plessis and Arno Legrandsie. Kostas' regular co-driver Barry White had to miss the event due to business commitments. Du Plessis, owner of the Firkin Fun Pub, was having his best rally of the season in his Toyota Conquest. Jean Hendrik and Tiana van der Merwe were driving well in their Motor 1 Toyota Corolla. Hendrik missed 2 rallies to rebuild his car to get it more reliable, and it's worked with 2 finishes under their belts. Etienne Lawrence continued to spoil the A7 championship battle, driving the wheels off his Corolla and taking another 10 seconds off Fecken. Fecken could still relax as he was ahead of JP after all their troubles, and they were the team under the most pressure. Wilken was the worst affected after his incident in stage 4, as there was no service between stages 4 and 5. He had to cruise through and dropped over a minute to the leaders. With the Total Run-X running perfectly again, they dropped 4 seconds to the Flying Golf and found themselves with a huge mountain to climb, if you'll pardon the pun. As the team set about fine-tuning the Run-X, JP was hiding the shortened version of stage 1. And you can see how desperate the water situation is in the Letaba Valley from the dry dam next to the stage. Big rocks lurked in the road after the earlier run. With spectators lining the bridge to catch the action, it was Habich who claimed his 4th stage win, adding yet another 5 seconds to his lead. Damso was still struggling with his front differential and dropped another 7. Keane was trying as hard as he possibly could as he throws the car through the corners, but it wasn't quick enough. Gemmel and Olivier were still building on their lead, now 87 seconds in the clear. Rueda is really trying hard as he hangs on to 2nd place in class. He's 20 seconds slower, but not for a lack of trying.
I'm afraid, this first day today, I got no answers. Maybe he's been either sleeping a lot of speed or he's been drinking a lot of speed, but we just can't, I got no answers for him. We're trying everything we can try, and it's just, every stage is taking a few more and a few more. I mean, we haven't been able to take any back at all.
Nicholas Ryan is still hurrying along, but with such a hot pace at the front, he has little chance to make up his huge time loss from stage 3. His efforts are rewarded though, for he's very close to Gemmel's pace, but drops another 7 seconds. The battles in Class A7 and N3 are far from over. Fecken is well placed, as is Fasagi, both on track for now. On cool and overcast, but that didn't stop throngs of spectators jamming the stages to see all the action. The first stage on the Saturday was a quick 930-meter dash around the Tzaneen showgrounds, just to warm things up a little. Habich came out charging with more to lose than gain in a Mickey Mouse stage, but took it easy. Damso finally claimed his first stage win of the rally, his car healthy again with full 4-wheel drive after the final 45-minute service on Friday. He took the win by 2 seconds from Keane, with Habich a further 1 second adrift. The teams wanting to put on a show but not risk their cars. Still, the crowd enjoyed the spectacle. Who would want to be a team manager at VW? 2 cars chasing each other hard was potentially a recipe.
Should the two of them be going into the last stage separated by seconds? then of course it's very clear they both have to come out at the other side.
No team orders, but for BPVW, a great scenario to be in.
It's been one of those great seasons. I mean, it's really going down to the wire on this one, and I think it's
A rally car in a rally, that's happening and that's clear. And I think we're solving the problems and they are changing positions and they're fighting for the championship, you know, which is something that we 3 rallies ago wouldn't think that would be the case. And so the question of letting them go, yes, and the one that wins, wins. That's it.
Just 6 cars remained in Class N4. Gemmell was already in cruise mode with a healthy 90-second lead over Rueda, but Ryan had a game plan to at least get into second spot. Duplessis was holding a watching brief over the trio ahead, while young Sali de Toy was enjoying his outing. He's been impressive this year, starting out in an A5 car before graduating to the Impreza. Vandenberg was learning all the time in the oldest N4 car in the field. The powerful front-wheel drive cars are prone to breaking drive shafts, so there were no heroics in the short opening salvo in Tzaneen. Fecken showed he has the pace, while Barry Grobler was up and claimed the second fastest time from Damso and Lawrence. With a long day ahead, the real question was, could Damso get ahead of Fecken? If he could close down his 50-second deficit, he knew Lawrence would back off and let him through. Andre Ehlers and Eugene Leroux were the first casualties of the day. Running in front of a big crowd of friends and family, they had to retire their Toyota Taz with a broken drive shaft. Nota Guguzulu has to do a 3-point turn, such is the tightness of the stage. With beautiful vistas over the surrounding hills, stage 8 was